Divine Creatrix Circle. So excited for today, as usual. And as usual, I'm gonna just check if it's working. Let's double check here. Yes, it's working. Great. Amazing. So, for us joining us from wherever you are right now, I invite you to just close your eyes and let's take 3 deep breaths together to open the circle. And just imagine with each breath that you're inviting space and light in and letting go of anything that's holding you back, tensing you up. And another one. I know we are all busy running around, and it's so important to just take time to come back to our center and invite all of us right here, right now, all the parts of us that are lost in different directions, different thoughts. We're inviting them all back to ourselves. I've been loving bergamot oil. It's a calming oil and it smells so good. And lately I've been using it as perfume. So that can be also a way to create centeredness, to choose a scent, to choose a thing that you like to look at, smell at. If it's harder for you to calm yourself and your thoughts. So for the people joining, let me know in the chat where you're coming from or how you're doing today. As you saw by the title, I decided that today we're going deep into how to communicate with the universe and receive divine guidance. It was actually inspired by a conversation I had with my client 2 or 3 days ago. And I know we've talked, as you can see, or you will see, all the lives that I'm doing in all the weekly trainings have something in common and connect all together. It doesn't necessarily follows 1, 2, 3 step in itself, but all the information we're diving in all the lives will support each other, complement each other, expand whatever we touched the week before or the week after. And so in the last lives, I talk a lot about being in a dark place, how to transmute the energy, or how to see difficult times from a different perspective. And so I know, because I've been there many times, and I know many people have been there many times, of being in a place where you feel stuck, you feel like you can't move forward, or that it's the end. Something is the end, whether it's the end of a relationship and you feel like as that relationship is about to end or getting close to the end, or you know in your heart that it won't be for a lifetime, but it's for a season. It could feel like as that thing is ending, or we feel it's gonna end, that we are gonna be ended as well, like we're gonna die, that some part of us is gonna die. And often that's what is scary, that feeling of feeling like you don't know how to move forward, you don't know if you're gonna make it. But at the end of the day, we make it. And as we look back to those times, we actually realize that it wasn't an end, and that we weren't stuck, and that life continued, and that we came to the other side and discovered different things, or attracting new people if we ended a relationship, and that we didn't die. And I know in those moments it can be really hard to remember that, or to actually feel like we are supported, like we are not alone. And for me, I touched a little bit about this in the last life, but after my toxic relationship where I pretty much lost all my money, my life changed really quickly. I came back to my mom, and so my environment changed, my life changed, the routine changed, everything changed, and I was left in a place that I didn't know how I was gonna make it or come out of that. And during those years in 2020, I started becoming really connected, as I said, with my higher self, interested and curious about learning about my guides, my angels, and starting the communication with the universe, with the higher energies supporting me. Because although I was feeling really lost and really low, there's a part of me that I always known that there's something higher, a higher power making all this work. And I'm pretty sure you have that feeling too. As much as we convince ourselves that life is hard, I'm pretty sure that since you were a kid, there's a part of you, a little whisper, a little spark inside that knows that life is so much more than what we know. And so in those moments, that little spark was the only thing of safety that I had, if I could say. And so I hold on to it, and I became really curious into connecting with everything that is and actually living a life divinely guided. And it brought me here right now. And that's why I created the Divine Creatrix Circle, because I want you to realize and I want to inspire you to actually open up this channel so your life becomes a divine unfolding, and where you actually are in your power and actually remember your divine creatrix impact, the impact that you can have, and how easily you can shift and affect your reality, because your reality at the end of the day is just a reflection of who you are. And so when you open up that channel, I guarantee life becomes pretty magical pretty quick. And for me, it was just an amazing experience. When I look back to those moments, it's just so hard feeling to see myself in that curiosity and having responses pretty quickly, and just seeing the unfolding of the universe in front of my eyes and in my life. And when I look at it now, and knowing that I trusted the guidance I received at that time, even though it sometimes make no sense, no logical sense for my ego, and now that I learn to trust it, follow it, and hear it, and see where I am now and how my life is unfolding every day, is just so fulfilling. And I just feel supported at all times, no matter what's happening. And my prayer and my wish for every one of us and for everyone on this planet is to actually realize that, so they can live their lives at their highest potential and create their most aligned life. So hi for the people who are joining. So excited. As I said in the beginning, today we're learning how to communicate with the universe and start receiving divine guidance so we can create our most aligned life. So what inspired, as I said at the beginning, this topic is my client feeling stuck and realizing that to actually attract the things that she wanted, she had to work on that feeling of fear, feeling disconnected, feeling lost, and the old fears holding her back. And it inspired this conversation and this subject, because often it's not that we are limited or that we are stuck or that there's something holding us back, but it's actually that we feel limited. And what's the difference is that as much as we think we are limited, there's no physical thing holding us back. There's no physical box keeping us in the same spot. It's actually just a relationship to life and how we respond to life that creates the same thing and the same situations again and again. But when we decide that whatever is happening and wherever we are stuck is no longer we don't want to tolerate it anymore, it's no longer acceptable, there's no part of us that wants to actually be there, and that we wake up to that realization, then things start moving because we open up the perspective and the possibility of something else happening. And if there's one thing that helped me, no matter how stuck I feel, to actually turn back around really quickly, is that the connection I have with the universe now, the conversation and the communication I built with my guides, my angels, with any divine guidance, that is divine power that is here at any moment of my life and any season, to actually feel that. Hello, Amber. So happy to see you here. And yeah, I'm so excited to see that unfolding for you as well. So before we start and I give you all the tips and tricks and the juicy details, please, the moment you start applying this in your life, keep notes of the unfoldings. I'm going to say it right now, and I'm going to say it throughout the thing, the whole life. I want you to track that, because I didn't do it and I remember big parts of it, but I would love to actually know all the details of every time I asked for guidance and I received it pretty quickly and see the magic unfolding. So I want you to remember to track it and to let me know as well, because sharing is caring, and the more we invite that energy in, the more we can inspire other people to do it as well, and to actually acknowledge that it works, because it does work. Energy flows where attention goes. And as I explained in an earlier life, I think, or in a video, because I talk about this all the time in all my channels, so sometimes I think I talked about it in the live, but it's actually in a video. But as I explained, life is relational, and what we create is actually the connection that we are creating every day, and the relationship we have with our thoughts and with our reality that actually creates that and fuels whatever we're experiencing. So, like anything, the universe and yourself are two entities, and in order to communicate together, you must build a relationship. Like anything, in order to know someone, in order to start knowing the person and start feeling how they work and how they react in life and how they live and their personality and everything, you must get to know the person. If not, it's just a stranger and you look at them and you don't know really a thing about them if you don't invest time to build up that connection and to get to know that person. And so life is pretty much the same. We have been conditioned to live separately from life and to think that we are the only thing, and that a reality is separate from us. And so whatever happens in a reality, we don't really have control over it because it's never part of us. But there's a new earth that is emerging. We are awakening to the fact that it's actually a lie, and that everything is connected, and that we've always been connected to everything and to life. And so this change of perspective actually gave us back our power to change things and to change our reality and to change ourselves and be empowered about that. And so in order to feel supported and to know in your heart that there's something supporting you and guiding you, you must become aware of it. Because if you're disconnected from that, you don't hear it, you don't feel it, you don't see it, because you don't know that it exists. You don't know what you don't know. So in order to start to know and to start to explore that, is to actually realize that it's there. So maybe you haven't experienced it, so you don't know consciously, you don't know that you don't have experiences yet. Or maybe you have some, but you still convince yourself that it was a coincidence. But in my opinion, there's no coincidences at all. There's only synchronicities, and because it's already pre-planned for you to remember everything that you have forgotten in your life. And everything is designed for us to remember our power and to actually experience what it is to be our highest selves. And so, yeah, to become aware of that is to start allowing yourselves to start to see, start to feel, and start to acknowledge what's going on in our lives. So the first step is just becoming aware of the fact that there's a higher power, divine guidance. You can call it God, you can call it the universe, you can call it angels, you can call it guides, whatever you want to call it, or whatever the experiences that you experience. Just remember that you're always connected and separation is an illusion. So that first statement there, realizing that we are all connected and we are all one, allow us to realize that we can create a new connection, we can open up the communication with the things that we don't see. And so for me, the easiest way I started, and I don't remember if it came up to me intuitively or I read it somewhere, to be really honest, I don't remember. But I feel like it was just me wanting to figure out and trying out things because that's my personality. When I get excited about something and passionate about something, I'm really seeing it from all the perspectives, so I can really get into it. And so for me, the first step that I did is to actually ask for help. And that's the other thing we don't know, is because we feel separate. We don't know there's something else there, a higher power to help us. So we don't ask for help. And the thing to understand is that in the third reality, in the third dimension, I would say, and in all planes of the universe, there's the first rule of the universe is free will, meaning that you have the ability to choose what you want to experience. And I know there's many different points of view on that. Some people believe that everything is already a destiny, that it's pre-planned. And I believe that some parts of it are true because we have soul contracts. We decided to meet certain people in our lives and to create some connections, so we learn something, so we grow different things. We have soulmates, we have karmic partners, we have many things. And so yes, I believe that some things are predestined, but as a rule, free will is the first rule of the universe because we are the universe itself. And so I explained that before, that we are here as the universe in human form to experience a specific reality so we can know what it is to be everything. When we are everything, we don't realize what we are because we are everything. And so experiencing reality from tiny different perspectives makes the universe realize who it is. The I am comes from that. What can I be? If I am everything, it means that I can become anything. And so I want to experience what it is to become anything, whatever I want. So I am what I choose that I want to be. I am that I am. And because of that, free will means that we have the choice to choose. We have the free will to choose what we want to experience, what we want to create. And because of that rule, other planes of reality cannot come into our experience if we don't allow it. And that's to make a little short in between of that. Often people don't know about that when they're scared of the spirit world because they're afraid that bad spirit or bad entity come and mess up in their lives or in their house or whatever. But when we realize that we have free will, whatever the experience we're experiencing with any dimension, we have the choice and the right to choose whatever we want to experience. So let's say you feel the things, weird things happening in your house, and you feel like there's a ghost or a spirit, and it happened to many people, and they feel like the ghosts have more power than them because they don't see it, and so they feel lost and they feel scared and they feel afraid of that other entity. Is to remember that you have the free will, so you can tell them to leave you alone and to go away, and they have no choice but to respect that because of free will. And so in the same direction, your guides and your angels are there and chose you and were part of your team for a reason, and they're here to help you navigate this lifetime. But if you don't allow them to help you, they can not do anything. The only person who can help yourself is yourself, and it starts with opening to the realization that you have help available to you at all times. And so you can choose to use it, or you can choose to forget about that and don't remember that. But I'm here today to remind you that you have help available, and that goes for the spirit realm, the angels realms, the universe realm, but also in the physical realm. You can ask help to your friends, your family, if you need to. But we first have to acknowledge that and choose that for ourselves. If not, nobody can help us, because we are the creators. We are the creatrixes. And so that is the first step, acknowledging. The second step is actually opening up the conversation and asking for help. And please be really precise when you ask for help. Communicate with your angels or guides in the universe. Don't leave open-ended questions in that, because if you ask for help, you will receive help, but make sure you are clear with who you want to receive guidance from. We don't want to say just spirits, because if we ask just spirits, any spirit can come and help you or come in contact with you. So it's just a PSA that we have the availability to create anything that we want and communicate with anything. But in order to stay in our really divine creatrix power, is knowing where we stand and knowing that we only communicate with light and the divine guidance of the divine plan coming from love and light. So that could be your decision that you make right now. And because of free will, once you choose, then you don't have to choose again and again. You can repeat it if you feel the need to, until it becomes second nature to you. But one day I chose and I declared that to the universe, in this lifetime and all the other lifetimes, and right here, I only come into contact and communicate with the powers and spirits of light, love, and all the energies of the divine plan. It's the only thing I tolerate, it's the only thing I choose. I like to say that because we want to remember that we are powerful, and so we want to choose exactly what we want. And so, what are you no longer tolerating in your life, including people, including guidance, and what you want exactly? So I want to experience and communicate only with light, unconditional love, and the guidance of the divine plan. That's the only thing I accept and tolerate in my life. So now that this is clear, once you ask for help, you receive help. So how you can do that? That's the real question. In my opinion, there's infinite ways to do that, and you can explore that on your own. That's what I did in 2020. But my first experience is to start asking questions when I needed to make a decision and I was really lost, or I felt lost and I needed guidance to actually help me remember that they were there with me to help me and that I would make it. So at first it was just like, am I ever going to get out of this? Or if I felt like a timeline or a decision I needed to make. Let's say I remember at that time, a specific example, I was starting to date someone new, but there was like energy that I had felt in the past, where I felt like the guy was emotionally unavailable, and so there was a part of me that was wishing that everything would turn out well. But at the same time, I had to acknowledge that I actually had that pattern before, and I wanted to make sure I was not doing the same mistake, because as I told you, after my ex I decided I no longer wanted to experience toxic relationships or attract toxic partners or people that weren't for my highest good. So it was really clear to me that I needed to make sure that my life and my romantic life was aligned with my desires. And so because I wasn't sure, and sometimes in those moments you don't know if it's your ego talking, your intuition talking. And so for me to clear that out when I wasn't sure if it was me repeating past patterns but convincing myself that it was different because I was in my ego, or actually my intuition feeling something new or something much deeper, but I had to go through certain events in order to make that higher perspective available for me. And so when I was lost between the two and I was like, am I convincing myself and I'm repeating the same pattern? Or is it just something right here, right now in the present moment, but it's going to unfold and change? I would ask for divine guidance in order for me to know clearly what was happening. So that was an example. I wasn't sure if I should continue to see that person or not, if I was fooling myself by repeating the same patterns, or if it was different and actually it was for my highest good. So I would ask your clear, simple question: is seeing that person, or is it for my highest good to continue to see that person? And in order to get a clear response, I would ask for a sign for a yes and for a sign for a no. For example, I would ask, if it's yes, can you show me a butterfly? And if it's no, can you show me a sunflower? I would ask totally different things in order to know that this is no, this is yes. And I would ask things that are pretty easy to see in my reality. You can ask anything, to be honest, because even if you would ask for a dragon, like something that's not common in your reality, maybe the universe would make sure that you see it anyways. But to start, and for your ego to not feel like it's impossible, with things that you necessarily don't see all the time, but that you can see easily anywhere. So the thing to remember here is that we don't have control over time, and we don't have control on how it happens. So we just have to be totally detached with the time frame and with how it happens. Does it happen by me seeing a butterfly on Instagram while scrolling? Am I going to see a butterfly while I'm walking outside and the butterfly is going to pass by? Am I going to go to the grocery store and there's going to be a magazine with a butterfly on it? We don't know. So just be open to all the possibilities of how it happens without being attached to a specific outcome. For myself, I would ask for a time frame just to allow me to know in a certain time frame. So let's say I would ask for the sign. I was going on a walk and I would be, okay, universe, if it's for my highest good to continue to see that person. If it's a yes, show me a butterfly. If it's a no, show me a raccoon or the sunflower, as I said, but on a walk, it's less common, whatever it's the signs you ask. And I would say, before the end of my walk, or in the next 30 minutes, or in the next 4 hours, whatever the time frame, you can ask for a time frame, but just know that you have no control over the time frame. So you must declare it, but without any attachment. So if you don't see the sign in between the time frame that you gave, it doesn't mean that you won't receive the guidance. It doesn't mean that the universe didn't want to communicate with you. So just making that clear. It just means that time is an illusion and you will receive it in divine timing. And I guarantee it doesn't take really long. It really, in my case, took more than what I asked for, or more than a day or two. I would always end up by seeing it in a little after my time frame or in my time frame. So that helps you as well experiment and practice your divine creatrix power of declaring what you want. But again, we have no power on how it happens and we have no control on the timing, but we can set a tone allow that and be detached completely on how it happens and when it happens. Our only job is to declare what we want, to be clear with the thing that we want, with our desire, and then the rest is the universe's job. Our only job is to choose what we want, the rest is the universe's job. So now that it's clear, when you ask for that guidance, show me a butterfly or show me a sunflower for yes and no, I would often kind of forget it. I would be like, okay, that's done. I send it. My job is done. Thank you. And I would continue on my day. And I kid you not, pretty much all the time, I would see it. A time I asked for a cat because I was on my walk, and I remember to tell myself, I'm gonna use something that I could easily see during a walk, but I haven't seen pretty often. And I would walk my dog pretty much every day an hour. And one thing that I have never seen during my walk is a cat. And cats can pretty much, a lot of cats are free and they walk outside and people let them out during the day and they call them back during the night. And so I was like, that's pretty obvious, that's pretty attainable. But I've never seen a cat during my walks. And it was a year of me being in that hometown. So I asked that, I completely forgot. And while I was walking, maybe 10 minutes during my walk, my dog decided to cross the street and to go on the other side of the street. So we were walking on this way, and one moment after the other, my dog decided to cross the street and start walking on this side. So I followed, and maybe 2 meters from the moment we crossed the street, there was a cat sitting in a entryway and just looking at us. And literally, it didn't move until we passed. Like, it appeared out of nowhere and it was sitting there just for me to see. And the crazy thing is that my angel numbers, since the beginning of when I opened up the communication with them, is 2, any numbers of 2. So 2, 22, 222, 4 twos, whatever. And when I saw the cat, I don't know why, but I look on the other side of the street, and the car that was parked literally in front of the cat on the other side of the street in the other house was 222. The plate number was 222. And for me, I was like, oh my God, this is not a coincidence. It cannot be a coincidence. And every time I remember, I was just feeling like a kid discovering a new thing, a new reality. And I was just filled with so much excitement and love. And I kid you not, every time I listened to it, I would understand why it was for my highest good. And so it really helped me build up the communication with my guides to help me discern between my ego and my intuition, because often the answer I would get would confirm one or the other perspective that I already felt before, but I was in the between and I didn't know which one was the best for me, or which one was my ego and which one was my intuition. So it helped me build that connection, and actually time after time after time, knowing it's like, okay, when it's my intuition, it feels like this, and then I get a confirmation about it. And if not, I feel the kind of how can I explain this? Like the frustration of when you receive the opposite of what you wanted and be like, I know it's not for my highest good, but there was something I wanted to experience where I'm attached to this, and now it's like, why do I know now that it's not it? So that little because you no longer listen to your ego. So you will start to feel those things when you get communication and you feel frightened or you feel like a little bit pissed off that it's not what you wanted. Often that's the ego, because the ego is not happy not getting what it wants. But when it's your soul, it's always open minded to anything, because it is devoted to choose what is for your highest good. So your soul is pretty much detached from anything, because it knows that at the end of the day, what's best for you will be the best for you, even though it's uncomfortable in the present moment. The soul is willing to choose no matter what the discomfort is, because it knows it's for your highest good. So through time, you will start to discern what is your intuition, what is your ego with that confirmation. And there's many other ways to do that. At that time, I would use the signs like that. And when I first opened the communication with them, I started with the numbers. I forgot to tell you this. So that's why I told you that my angel numbers were 222. In the moment, I decided I wanted to see what would happen when I opened the communication. And that's the first time I received guidance, is to ask them clearly to show me their presence and to show me that they were there helping me. And so starting today, and you can do this right after we finish a live or during this live as you want. And so choose a number that you know maybe already represent them because you see it often, or a number that you feel attracted to that has some resonance with you, and make it your divine guidance number. And at the moment when I opened the communication, I literally said any doubles of 2. It can be 222 or 222 or 6 twos in a row. No matter what, anything that is a multiple, a 2 in it, it's my sign that I'm on the right path. So for me, 222 became just a little spark of confirmation that I was on the right path. And I kid you not, maybe 10 seconds after I asked this, I was driving and the car went in front of me, and the light turned red, so we stopped. And in Montreal, there's permits for parking in the street, so you can buy a permit, and there's numbers for the neighborhood you're living in, or the permit is functioning in which place of this, in whichever neighborhood of the city. And it was the 22. It was literally the 22. And I never seen that number of parket in my life before. So again, that's another example that it can happen in any other way. So just as a question, show me, guides, angels, universe, show me that you're here, show me that you are supporting me, and show me 1111, show me 22, 20, 23, 55, whatever the number you want to choose. Just ask that and look, be open and curious to see it pop up in your reality pretty quickly. So that can be as well a way with numbers. And another way I like is to use oracles or tarot and just ask for a question, and like this one will have a little message behind the card, and 99.9999999% of the time, not to say 100%, it literally answers the question, often with the same subject, with the same topic that I literally asked, or sometimes there will be a phrase in the description of the oracle card that has the same words of what I asked for. And the running joke that I see with my friends, because we would often do circles and meet up and do oracles spreads together. And so we would say what we asked out loud, and then we would all read the cards together of what we got. And for me, the running joke was like, I'm sure that when we close the book, it literally like erased itself. And the moment we ask for something, they write back exactly what it was for that person. Because every time I'm like, what? How is it possible that the words that I asked for are in this description? It's crazy. It's crazy. But we are not separate, and everything is already here to guide us and to help us remember our power. So I highly encourage you to just try, experiment. It's a game. It's just a game. And when you see it as a game, not as a ride or die or indefinite thing, it gets so much fun. So not to see that as, oh, if I don't get an answer, that it means that the universe doesn't love me, that the universe doesn't want to help me. It's just to realize that we have to be open-minded for the things to come. If we are resisting and attached, we are literally blocking the information from coming in because we're creating resistance. When we let go, we create all the space, literally all the space to receive that answer. And it works with your unconscious mind as well. I talked about it in the first live. If you haven't seen it, go back. You can see it in the on my YouTube channel. The first lives will be in my videos because I couldn't stream on YouTube if you're on YouTube. But for the people that are in the Facebook group, in the Divine Creatrix community, it's going to be on the feed of the group. All the lives are there. Go back to the first live, the Divine Creatrix Circle. I talk about the algorithm of your unconscious mind and how it literally deletes, distort, and generalize information depending of your beliefs and depending of how you see the world. So if you're really attached to an outcome and fearing not to see it, your unconscious mind will literally change what you're seeing right now or block certain informations so you don't see it. So the more you interact with certain things, the more they become available to you. So the more you interact with the universe, with your guides, with your angels, the more your unconscious mind starts to build up importance about that and become it much more available into your reality. So we have to remember that our unconscious mind is the bridge between us and the universe. And so reminding us of that truth, that we are never separate and that all the answers we are looking for are already right here, right now. Then we're changing our algorithm to start to see that and to start to open to those possibilities. So I think it covered pretty much everything. To conclude and to repeat that in a nutshell, becoming aware that the help is available to you is the first step, to acknowledge that you're not alone, that you're not separate, and that there is divine guidance and higher powers here to help you, and it's already chosen before you came to Earth. It's there. So becoming available and open to that reality, to know about it, because you cannot know what you don't know. But now you know. So it's knowing that deep in your heart and being the truth that this is the foundation of life, of this reality, of this game, to opening up the conversation, because without you choosing to, because of your free will, other planes of reality like your guides, angels, or the universe cannot come into contact with you if you don't allow it to, if you don't choose to be open to that. So opening the conversation and asking for help, allowing them to help you. And third, you can open up the conversation as in a general way. So choose a number to open up the conversation and to get confirmation that they're here with you and that they help you, and to just choose like a general sign of them reminded you that they're there. Like for me, it's 22. So I guarantee you will start to see that number everywhere. Wherever I go, if I look at the clock, it's gonna be 2:22. Pretty much all the time I look at the clock. If I'm walking, there's gonna be a graffiti or painting of 222 on the wall. Literally, I see them everywhere, on license plates, everywhere. So it's just like a tiny and fun way of being like, oh, thanks for reminding me, it's here. So just a general information, general way of reminding me, but they will know. So every time you will see them, it's just like a little reminder from life of being like, yeah, it's true. I'm not alone. They're here with me. I'm always surrounded with guidance. I'm always protected and I'm always supported. So that, and then you can use direct and clear communication to help you with some decisions. Let's say, to give you another example, maybe I'd give you the example of the dating thing, but I was looking to go back to Mexico. I went for the whole winter 1 year. The next year, I wanted to go, and I was just asking myself if it was better for me to go somewhere else, or if it was for my highest good to go in the same town and stay for the all winter there. And I asked to confirm me with a red rose for yes, and I don't remember, maybe a butterfly for no. I don't remember. No, I think it was a sunflower for no. And I asked in 2 hours, and that was at one time that it didn't respect the time frame I gave to my angels universe. I said in 2 hours. I didn't see it in 2 hours, but afterwards I was at the grocery store, so maybe at 5, 6 hours later. And for those who have Telegram, you know that when someone from your contacts downloads Telegram and creates an account, it just shows you a notification of like, this person has joined Telegram. So for me, was someone I've done my hypnosis course with that joined the Telegram, and it just gave me a notification to tell me this person has joined Telegram. So for some reason I opened it, and the moment I opened it, her profile picture on Telegram was a red rose. And when I opened the thing, it kind of sent her like a little gift fee of like, hi, welcome, with by accident. And she responded to be like, hi, with a star and a red rose emoji. And I was like, what? What? Well, I got my confirmation. And then after that, during the night, I was scrolling on my phone and I kept seeing red roses on Instagram, like posts, sponsor things with roses on it. And so again, it can happen in so many different ways. You don't know how it can happen. So just remember and remind to yourself that all the possibilities exist and anything can happen. So become aware that's available to you, open the communication and ask for help, create a general code so you can receive it whenever you are, wherever you are, and use divine guidance for specific things that will help you follow and learn about your intuition, distinguish between your ego and your intuition, and just build up the momentum. You can use it in so many different ways. So many different ways. I used to ask with signs, oracles, and still to this day. I could go deeper on it on another live with the paranormal activities that I've experienced before. But at one time, I started communicating with my guides with light. So every time I would think about it, and I was literally wondering in my mind, oh, is it this for me? Is this for me? The light would flicker. And it's because I started using fire alarm with the little red light to answer to my question. So if it was right, I would ask for the red light to flash after in between 5 seconds of me asking the question. And I could go in depth in another one because I don't want to keep you too long, so you can start applying this today. And yeah, so the possibilities are endless. You can journal, you can literally journal the question and then allow yourself to just automatically write and don't think about anything and just let the pen write on the paper. That could be a way to receive guidance as well. Literally, it can be anything. Just try it out, explore for yourself, have fun with it. It's a game, and I guarantee the excitement and the joy that you will feel is just out of this world. Is literally like being a kid and discovering a new playground and being like, oh my god, I wanted this all my life and this is right here right now, it's available. It gets so much fun and life gets so much easier, and it helps you build inside you the resilience and the support to always remember that you're always supported and guided, that you're not alone, and that connection stays with you no matter how dark is your life in any moment. That stays with you and is just a beautiful divine gift that we have access to but we don't know. So this is what concludes this live. I was going to say this video because I'm used to filming this live. Thank you for joining me. I'm so happy to see you here, and if it's your first Divine Creatrix Circle, I highly suggest you look on my YouTube page or join us in the Divine community, Divine Creatrix community, because there's so much more coming there. I'm gonna be posting much more on little tips and tricks, interact, so we can really get to know each other and actually see the experiences of others, and so we get to have inspiration and just be happy. So have a great day too, Amber. Thank you so much for being here. We will see each other next Monday, and if you want more, join my TikTok, Instagram. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I am pretty much active there every day, pretty much every day. And on my YouTube page, I post a video every Saturday at 10 a.m. So you will receive more techniques, more information about spirituality, manifestation, soul alignment, and healing as well, because we're here for the whole journey and it's so much fun. So again, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see each other next week. Have a beautiful day, and remember that today is another opportunity to create even more magic. And so go out there, test it out, be creative, and just see how much magic is going to happen today and for the days to come. Thank you so much.